Hello there. This is Pacific Northwest dressed Steve, and I was asked to vacate the building, and so here I am, a bit north on the island, with the Olympic Peninsula in the background. I had the thought that possibly today I would hop on a ferry, even though it might be cried, Freudian, or no, Jungian slip, because when it's about the emotions, it's more probably Jungian than Freudian. Because Freudian seemed like it was more about the mind, the rational mind. We can think this through. And Jungian was about it's all archetypes, which is the unconscious, and your dreams can mean whatever they do to you. Um, and probably just getting it on an unconscious level might help you to change. I don't know. So far, so we could say so far so good, or we could say so far so crappy, or we could say happy, snappy, pappy, dappy. We could say a lot of things. And it must be that time of day when the folks who want to spend the day up on a bluff looking out over the wonders of nature can do so from this place if they spend $10, to park um, in a in a federally owned area because it was formerly a military place to shoot cannons off during World War II. I'm pretty sure. That's why it's not Port Casey, but it's Fort Casey. And there's a difference between a fort and a port, I think. But anyway, it was Fort Casey, and probably during previous things, but during World War II, I think they were, kind of lined up ready to shoot any ships or planes flying over that might have been coming to get involved with doing damage to the United States during the war. But I think maybe at that time, and it was, 60 years ago, 60, 80 years ago, 80 years ago. Yeah. So about as old as the people that were in memoriam in my high school newsletter. Three had died from the class of 1940, which had to make them, you know, close to 100, and maybe some of them over 100. It's impressive when people live that long. It's impressive that people even have the desire to live that long, because these people that were graduating in 1940 more than likely were feeling a bit of pressure to join some sort of military service and go up and save the world from just another despicable dictator type person, which there seems to be a lot of them, and they seem to get a lot of support to do their dictator thing. And I'll probably not publish this because it seems like I'm kind of running on the ramble of political whatever. So I woke up this morning. So I feel like overall I've gotten really good information from the tarot cards that I have read over the past few days. Really useful information for me, and according to one or two people, really good information for them. Very helpful to one or two people. That's about how many I think went past the 3 minute, 2 minute, 1 minute click mark. They go, oh, like, this guy's an idiot. He hasn't said anything. It's been 1.3 seconds. Click on to the next person who might say something. But I want to avoid those people who just want, who just want to get a quick fix. They just want to score and take something home with them, something they can repeat in the first, minute to 3 minutes average watch time of any video that I make, which takes me 3 minutes to just wake up that I'm doing a video. All right, so here we are sitting together at Fort Casey. I was thinking about taking the ferry over to Port Townsend because it's only $4 round trip for a senior citizen. And so it gives you like an hour of boat rides with 50 minutes in between. So you can just ride the boat over, ride the boat back for $4, which is a lot better than having a boat and having to put gas in it. And you spend a lot more than $4 to go across and back. So it's a good deal for old people. They encourage old people to get out and do something with their lives, like shuffle along streets and possibly buy things. Yeah, so we're shuffling along streets. So I just let you know we're shuffling along streets and buying things at times. Okay, so today so yesterday's question was, how are we doing? And I can't remember the exact cards we got, but I do remember the one that said success. And also the Hierophant, which is you're really working with things well. At least that's what I made up from the Hierophant reading. I could look at it again, but I'm just going to accept what I made up from it, is that everything's beautiful in its own way. So I woke up from the dream world this morning, and I was going to get the quote that I wrote and remembered. So I wrote this text to a friend of mine. Today I woke from the dream world with these words. It will all become easier when your focus is on the higher consciousness. And then I also wrote in this text, I didn't reply, but I thought these words, interpretation optional, as always, fly off. Tonality can say a lot with words. So anyway, these words I think are useful. It will all become easier when your focus is on the higher consciousness. So the fact that they were saying this after my struggle in the dream world once again, which I've had a lifetime of struggles in the dream world. It's like, for really literally, I think this is the 14th year, although for 13 years I remembered going to the school every night in the dream world and getting lectures, sitting, midway back in the room, making funny statements, disrupting, what I generally do. Just in this life, I also appear to be doing that in the dream world as well. And I've learned a lot in the dream world in the 13 plus years I've been going there. It's changed. For 13 years, it was basically a classroom, just like high school, with desks that you sat in, you could write, and I would recognize some of the people in the dream school that were attending it like I was. The first dream school that I went to was the School for Delinquent Shaman. And I was in that school for 7 years, and then I don't know if I graduated, got like a PhD, a pilot higher and deeper in dysfunctional shamanism, or whether the teachers just got tired of me attending class and just bumped me out to a different class. They said, why don't you study energy? And so the next thing I knew, I was in the School for Energy Awareness. And the first week I was there, I described it as the School for Energy Mastery. And then in night school, they took me aside and they said, this isn't the School for Energy Mastery. That never occurs. This is the School for Energy Awareness. And you can increase that. Whether or not you'll ever become a master at it is very questionable. And I think they were referring to, how I did in the other school for dysfunctional shaman. So today, I woke up kind of disturbed from the dream world. I kind of felt like I was working with it pretty well, like I was, making good choices for myself. And it was indicated to me that would be useful if I vacated the building. So I ended up here um, at Fort Casey to do a tarot video, which is going to be very brief today. And already it hasn't been, so I'm just guessing that already we've gone into this like 10 minutes, which we have 10 minutes. So we'll see if we can just cut to the quick. So I said, in relationship to the words I got from the dream world, which is put your attention more on higher consciousness, I had a really nice conversation with one of my co-housing units about that this morning, and I felt like she really understood some things that she was able to explain to me that really helped me to understand some things much more clearly. And she did it using images and metaphor, but it was really good. And so I can't repeat it, but it was really good. And I do feel like on some deep level, I remember what it was she said. So I think that what I was asking 10 minutes ago about when I was pulling the card, it was about, can you, the higher consciousness, help me to pick one card that will be descriptive to all of us who are following this tarot, almost daily tarot card reading, that would be helpful to us, to give us something to work with, to help us during these times of difficulty. I'm feeling this is a time of difficulty. So I would rather not be feeling it's a time of difficulty. I've been given one hint to put my attention on the higher consciousness. So that's one. And then here's the other. So what we got was the Knight of Cups. And because we got just this one card, I'm going to read what it says. It's the mastery of emotional loyalty and commitment. So one could question oneself, what do I feel emotionally loyal to? So the Knight of Cups is a visual representation of emotional loyalty, generosity, commitment, and unconditional love. Mythically, this is the Knight and the Holy Grail. Of all the knights in the deck, this is the only one which is not helmeted. A symbol of openness, trust, and the willingness to be seen, the very qualities that are needed in order to be emotionally spontaneous, outreaching, and unguarded. This is the winged knight, who, like Pegasus, the winged horse, offers emotional regard and spiritual upliftment. The white horse is a symbol of power coming from an integrated and spiritual source, the color white. The Knight of Cups wears the green suit, which is symbolic of creative love. He holds the grail or loving cup, out of which a crab emerges. Cancer the crab is an astrological symbol that represents the quality of emotional loyalty and the ability to give emotional comfort, support, and positive regard to others. Cancer the crab is an astrological symbol that represents the quality of emotional loyalty and the ability to give emotional comfort, support, and positive regard to others. The Knight of Cups is rising out of the emotional waters above the peacock, which represents love that has moved beyond ego and vanity, the peacock, and offers unconditional love that is spiritually healing and uplifting, the Knight and the Grail. In the West, the peacock is a symbol associated with warding off evil and is also representative of vanity and ego. Oh, and it was warding off evil, in case I said it was warding off ego, which could be either. But it's also representative of vanity and ego. And in the East, the peacock is associated with perception and vision and is seen as a healing omen. Isn't that interesting? Two completely different perceptions and perspectives on the peacock. In medieval hermeneutics, which I have no idea what hermeneutics is, it was viewed as a symbol of the soul. I'm just going to look and see if there's a second page to this, because it seems like it's getting us started on something. And the range of interpretations for the Knight of Cups. I think we need this. We're only getting one card. We may as well get the whole shebang. The Knight of Cups represents mastery of emotional loyalty, generosity, and unconditional love. The Knight of Cups reminds us of the healing power of unconditional love, acceptance, and positive regard. During the months of Cancer, which I think we're coming on Gemini, or we're in Gemini, and Cancer's after that, or from now until Cancer. So we get an extra month. It's an ideal time to be open to emotional rewards and opportunities presented to you by significant older men or from Cancer people in your life. It's difficult to find significant older men for me, except from the graduating class at South Pasadena High School. They appear to have a lot of older men, so I might have to sign up and go to the reunion, which for the class of 69, my class, is the 55th reunion that's going to be taking place in South Pasadena, California on June 8th. So I better get my tickets soon if I'm going to go. Then I might be able to find some older men. Maybe I won't go to my class's reunion because those guys would all be the same age. Maybe I'll go to the class, if it's 55 years, I'll go to the class, of 64. The class of 64 would be having their 60th reunion, and they'd be 5 years older than me. So there, I can find the old men. All right, 5 years older. They're like in their late 70s. Okay. Emotional rewards and opportunities presented to you by significant older men or from Cancer people in your life. For women, this symbol can represent the loyalty and commitment found within their own animus or dynamic masculine nature within. For both genders, if you've chosen yours, the Knight of Cups can represent a reassessment of priorities, loyalties, and commitments for the purpose of eliminating shoulds. As my friend wrote a song that was, "Don't should on me and I won't should on you." So, eliminating shoulds and moving toward that which has vitality, heart, and meaning. Ultimately, the Knight of Cups is that quality of the emotional nature which can forgive and extend compassion. When we're in the observer mode, we're observing ourselves and others with curiosity and compassion. And with compassion, there's kindness. So that's it from Fort Casey. I may make a shorter version of this later that people might actually watch. There'll be a few people that'll watch it, even if it isn't shorter. But it's good to have these virtual friends all over the world. Occasionally, 30 people watch my video. Occasionally, 1.7 thousand click on it just to make me appear like more popular than I actually am. I say I'm actually popular to about 10 or less people who really are paying attention and listening to what I'm saying and grokking what I'm saying, and probably old enough to understand even what grokking is. Well, that's it for today. It's getting kind of hot and stuffy in this car, so I'm going to move along now, maybe go take a little walk out on Port Casey, and I'll have a lovely day. You have a lovely day, and keep your focus, if you feel like it, keep your focus on the higher consciousness and on being emotionally loyal to yourself and to others. And those that you can help, help. And the higher consciousness helps those who help themselves as well. So take care of you, so you really have the energy to take care of all those others with dogs and corgis and all sorts of things that are out there. And as a last metaphor or image, I present you with this, my little image of time and old geezers and corgi dogs. And that's about it. Have a wonderful day if you feel like it, and we'll talk again soon. Namaste.